NBC says that they are planning to have the late-night situation worked out before the Winter Olympics start. That's what they said, yeah. And trust me, when NBC says something, you can take that to the bank.
The late-night programming drama at NBC continues, and I love it. It's like a Lifetime movie, but with testosterone. While Jay Leno continues to make jokes about being canceled, Conan said he wouldn't move The Tonight Show to 12:05. I don't see all this fighting over time slots, personally. I'm on at 9, midnight, and 5 a.m., all live. Yeah. So now that Conan's refusing to let NBC treat him like the red-headed stepchild, what happens next? Joining me for a briefing on the late-night wars are Roy Sekoff, founding editor of the HuffingtonPost.com. HuffingtonPost.com. Okay. And Stephanie Miller, host of The Stephanie Miller Show. What an idea. Now, you know, the guy says no. He says, screw you to NBC, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they see that coming?
Well, they needed to see this coming 5 years ago when they thought they were like the guy on Big Love and he could have all the wives. You know, we want to have Jimmy, we want to have Freddie, we want to have Jay and Conan. We'll have them all together and I'll play the field. Yeah, it just doesn't work like that.
Are they just dense or what? Did they think he would say no?
Yeah, who knew there were so many screw-ups that were not from the Bush administration? Yeah, NBC executives, what were they thinking that they could put out a press release before they even cleared it with Conan? So, and I don't know, does this just bump everybody? Like, eventually, Joy, do you get to, like, sell the juicer and then you're the host of the Today Show if you're on late enough?
I don't know how that works, but maybe.
Yes.
I mean, last night on Conan, they gave him a standing ovation, which I thought was interesting. It means that the audience is behind him and they don't like what's going on.
But it's very complicated, though. You know, as you followed the story, in the beginning, Jay was kind of the one who they sort of pushed out, and then he was the good guy who said, okay, I'll take 10, I'll take anything. And now sort of it's going the other way, where they're sort of pushing back, and Conan's suddenly like the victim.
I know, it's true. And Leno seems to be the target. Jimmy Kimmel is getting into the act. Last night, he dressed up as Leno. Take a look.
My name is Jay Leno, and let it hereby be known that I'm taking over all the shows in late night. All right. Beginning with this one. Yeah. All right. It's great to be here on ABC. Hey, Cleto, you know what ABC stands for?
I know, man. I do, man.
Always bump Conan. That's right.
So why is he taking shots at Leno?
Well, I think, one thing is he wants to be part of the conversation. So, you know, if he's not doing Matt Damon or Ben Affleck in the videos, he's not getting much press. And here he is today. We have him on the Huffington Post. It worked.
I see. But Leno is the bad guy in all this, all of a sudden.
Well, you know, Roy raises an interesting point. In the beginning, you kind of go, they sort of did the same thing to him they did to Carson. Like, he was #1, and you're going, you know, they had to bump him for the guy that you know, is younger and whatever. And then Conan has not been doing well. Letterman's been beating him. Yeah. So you're right. It's like, this is, you know, like Leno said, they wanted drama at 10 o'clock. Now they've got it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But if they push The Tonight Show to 12:05, which is what they're saying they wanted to do with Conan, it's not The Tonight Show. Then it's tomorrow. So
and you got to bring Tom Snyder back.
But he could.
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah.
And you kind of can't.
The late great. He was good.
Fabulous.
But, you know, since it's the Tomorrow Show all of a sudden, can't Conan then say, listen, give me the $45 million. It's not The Tonight Show anymore.
Well, I think
that was in his contract.
I think that's what he's going to do. I mean, you know, he can't just be pushed around like that. I think the hardest thing is, remember how many interviews he gave before the show premiered saying, my whole dream since I was 8 years old was to be the host of The Tonight Show. And then suddenly after 10 months, they're going to go, I know you moved from New York, you moved your family, you moved your entire crew out. Sorry. Didn't work. I mean, he's got to walk.
There's something evil about it. And what about the network executives who put them in this position? They seem to always emerge unscathed in all of this. They'll get a bigger job. This guy, Jeff Zucker, I mean, Maureen Dowd took him to task today. Did you read her column?
I didn't see that.
There he is. There's a picture of him. He was a wunderkind at NBC in his 20s and early 30s, and now he's being pilloried for making this decision. What do you think?
I think he looks too much like Ari Fleischer from the Bush White House. And so right away, I just don't like him.
So be careful what you say.
I just don't like him. But no, but you're right. This was a disastrous decision all around. I mean, you know, 10 o'clock was a disaster for the local affiliates. You know, it was a disaster in late night because, as I said, now Letterman's beating Conan. And like you say, now everything, it's almost like, you know, trying to put something back together after an accident. It didn't really go together right. And you're like, no, now it's all
like Humpty Dumpty. But David Letterman must be the happiest man in late night. Take a look at the clip from last night.
This whole mistake over there at NBC has cost them hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. So now the last thing they want to do, they just want Conan to quit and go away and do a show in his basement. That's what they want. That's That's exactly what they want. But he's a smart kid. He's not going to do that. He's in there for the cash, or they waive his non-compete clause so he can go to Fox or come here and take my job.
Letterman's having a lot of fun with all this mishigas.
Well, this is perfect for him, right? I mean, you know, what do they say? Payback is, well, that's what's happening. Remember what happened? He was the one who was forced out when Leno got the seat that he wanted when Carson left, right?
Yeah.
So now he's just sitting there going, the sex scandal's behind him. He's got double the ratings. He's a pig in slop.
And it looks like Fox may end up with one of them, right? Leno or Conan. And somewhere, Joan Rivers is going, I'm next again. Okay, I've got to be up again.
And Arsenio's going, whoop, 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 whoop. We're flashing back to all the bad shows.
There's something great to me about the fact that all these comics are trashing the network with great jokes and great material. It's like I like it. It's inspiring about the First Amendment, you know? Well, just speak out.
Yeah.
Say what's on your mind.
You know what?
On behalf of all of us.
On behalf of all of us.
It's great when you have the ironclad $40 million contract. You can just let it fly.
Okay. Now, will anybody at NBC emerge unscathed? Who's going to get screwed here? What's your predictions?
Well, you know, now we're in a game of chicken. It's like, what's going to happen? Is, you know, Leno going to step down? Is Conan going to... What's NBC going to do? I mean...
What do you think?
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Conan walks.
Conan walks.
He goes to Fox.
Goes to Fox.
Leno has his Heartland crowd. They're going to stick with him. They're not going to be all into the inside baseball of this.
11:30 to 12.
11:35 to 12. No. He'll do a full hour.
A full hour.
He'll go back to the old Tonight Show. It'll be the old Tonight Show, 11:35 to 12:35.
Yeah.
And that'll be it. And he'll be happy. And Conan will start at 11 at Fox.
Okay, stay right there. We'll be right back with more. We're going to talk about Sarah Palin at Fox in just a minute.
An obvious disconnect between President Obama and the White House, what they are doing to our economy and what they are doing in terms of not allowing Americans to feel as safe as we had felt, and people finally saying, you know, this is not the representative form of government that we thought that we had voted in.
That was Sarah Palin debuting on Fox News last night, and of course her first order of business was to bash Obama and the White House. My panel is back with me to talk a little Palin. You know, she says there's a disconnect between the White House and Obama. Doesn't he live there? Isn't that one thought? I don't get that.
I don't ever understand the word salad. Will they have, like, translation in the Chiron? Because does it make your eye do this whenever she talks on TV? Does it just make you go like that? Because it doesn't really...
Do you remember, like, a couple weeks ago, Jon Stewart did a bit where he talked about how the Fox hosts had to dumb themselves down for the audience?
Yeah.
Well, Sarah doesn't have that problem.
Perfect.
She fits right in.
Oh, boy.
Doesn't have to go through that, yeah.
You think she's going to be a hit?
I do. I mean, if you remember, when she graduated from was it 6 colleges that she attended?
Yes, she did.
She became a sportscaster, or a news reader, as they say. So this is perfect for her. As long as the teleprompter doesn't break, she's going to be great.
Don't you think that talking about her the way we are right now, or you are right this minute, don't you think that just energizes her base even more against the left? Or does it not matter?
I hope they make her a foreign correspondent based on the stuff in that latest book. She probably can see West Korea from her house.
Yeah, but see, things like that. I was reading in that book, the new book, that she didn't know there was a North and South Korea. I mean, this woman was this close to being the president. Yeah. I mean, I can't even...
Well, even worse than that. She said, oh, that's not true. I did know that. But the thing that she did say...
She always says that afterwards.
But she actually did not back off from the fact, the claim that she didn't know 7 years after 9/11 that Iraq was not behind the attacks. It came out in the book that...
But a lot of people say that still.
7 years later still?
A lot of people, I still hear them say it. And they'll revise history over and over again to justify that invasion.
Even George Bush admitted that was not the case.
Yeah.
So let me find, those are the 12%. See, that's the thing. When you say about her base being energized...
Did Cheney ever admit that?
He kind of went, He didn't use actual words, but I think even like a nudge with a twitch.
Okay, I want you both to take a look at this In Touch cover of Sarah and Bristol Palin with it, because it says, "We're glad we chose life." Any thoughts on that cover?
Well, from my understanding, that they got paid 6 figures to do this story.
Well, that's choosing life.
So you're choosing life, but
he's choosing a really good life.
Yeah, choosing a really good life.
Yeah, nice. But here's a funny thing. Last week, I don't know if you read this in the paper. Bristol Palin is launching her own PR company.
Is that so?
And so, yeah, as a 19-year-old, she's...
Good for her.
And I think she's doing a good job. I mean, she's on the cover of In Touch, right?
Yeah.
So maybe should we see a future for her?
That baby, they passed that baby around more than a joint at the Grateful Dead concert. I mean, is she going to bring that baby on the set at Fox?
Yeah.
Her baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the babies.
Yeah.
They're schlepping those babies around like crazy.
My favorite moment of the campaign, and it really did not get a lot of publicity, Joy, was she was speaking at a rally in Florida. You know, she's the whole family values candidate and whatever, and she was introduced to her whole family. She goes, "Oh, and Trig. Where's Trig?" "Oh, well, anyway," and then she just went on and gave her speech like I should even know where the baby
Oh,
is.
my God, I know.
Yeah.
It's just really going to be interesting to watch her on Fox, though. I love it for my show. Stephanie, Roy, thanks.